What's going on? It's SFT. We're talking about the Commanders, man. What an excellent year it's been for them, coming off of last year's sheer disappointments, so many issues. You look at this team and thought to yourself, in 2 years' time, this team can be something, but you can clearly see there's something now coming off that Sunday night performance. And before getting into this video, please like and mainly subscribe. I really need these subscriptions, okay? Subscribe to the channel. And let's start off with last season. So I watched the Commanders. I'm the type of guy that watches most football teams. And the Commanders last year, they were an embodiment of a franchise who started off really good. They had some really good games. They had Sam Howell looking really good. Defense playing decent. Secondary still bad, but they weren't that bad. Furthermore, their offense was clicking early on in that season. They had some really good football games against teams like the Denver Broncos, who started off 0-3. I'll give them that. And I believe the Washington Commanders started off the last season 2-1 or 3-1 and ended up only getting one more win for the rest of the season. So what went wrong last season? And what were some of the base issues they had last season for them to overhaul the majority of the team? They really did overhaul the majority of their defenders. Recently, they've let go of their, I wouldn't say recently, it's 2 weeks ago, they let go of their first round corner they drafted last year in Emmanuel Forbes. He was getting cooked game in, game out. Hopefully they can get rid of St. Juice. And last year, looking at this defense, there was so much improvement needed to be done. And not just that, the offense too. The offensive line last year was some of the worst offensive line, I think, in football. And they didn't start off the season that bad either, but they dealt with a lot of things such as injuries, consistent changes of guys going to different positions due to those injuries, and ineptitude in the position. And that ended up leading to Sam Howell's. I'm not going to blame him mainly on the offensive line and the play calling, but that was one of the factors in Sam Howell regressing that season. He started off looking really good. People looked at him and said, this guy might be the solution for us at the quarterback position in Washington. And as the season progressed, his decision making got worse and worse. His ability to stick in the pocket, the confidence, you saw happy feet. The guy wanted to get out the pocket as much as possible, and he didn't have the confidence he had early on inside the season. I want to say he didn't have the confidence he had. He didn't have the naivety he had, because later on inside the season, you begin to realize what offensive line, and you train yourself to deal with the conditions that you're given. This offensive line last year was so poor, man. They were getting killed by so many teams. They're getting to the quarterback. It was an embarrassing team to watch. I remember some of the most embarrassing performance against the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. They had some embarrassing performance against the Giants, man. They were getting beat up by the Giants year in and year out. And now you look at them this year. What a team they've been. Let's start off with their defense. The defensive line has played very good. They added extra additions, extra quality in their defensive line with some of those main guys. And their defensive line has shown up really good this season. They've been a tough football team. Their linebacker position has been a revelation compared to last year. Last year, their linebacker position was one of the worst in the league. Their linebackers were getting cooked last year, especially in pass protection. They were getting killed. They were getting killed last year, and they upgraded them. Yes, they brought in an older guy like Bobby Wagner, but you need that type of maturity, that type of trust in a linebacker to command that defense. And we're talking about that secondary. Recently, they just got Marshawn Lattimore from the Saints. They're upgrading their defense slowly, and they're already producing at a high level. Yes, you could look at this team and say, you guys beat up on bad offenses. You guys beat up on bad teams. Outside of the weaker teams, we've seen this team show up against the Eagles when they've needed to this season, especially in that first game they played in Philadelphia. We've seen this team show up against Steelers. Even though Steelers are a little bit questionable right now, they've showed up. They showed out. They look good. Like, let's not get it messed up, man. This defense has shown consistently that they can play ball. Yes, might not look as good against the elite teams, but who does? What defense does look good against the elite offenses, right? So I've been really impressed with this defense. Let's get this offense, though. This offensive line has been monstrous this season, man. That's the thing I'm the most impressed in. I would never have imagined last year this offensive line would be this good in 1 year. In a 1 year turnaround, how does that make sense? Last year, they were ranked by PFF the 27th ranked offensive line coming off of last year. We're talking about one of the worst offensive lines in the league. And this year, they're ranked the 7th. They're ranked the 7th damn offensive line. The way they're able to consistently change the line of scrimmage and dominate that Atlanta Falcons defensive line. Holy smokes, I'm watching some of these games. Like, this team, it's moving teams around. Not just that, their pass protection is so clean. I rarely see Jayden Daniels under consistent pressure. They've done such an excellent job. I'm so happy with this offensive line because a lot of times you don't get to see the talent around your running backs, the talent around your quarterbacks, because they don't have enough time to operate, or at least your offensive coordinator doesn't have enough time to operate. Well, now we're seeing it come together, and this offensive line has been pivotal in that. They've been picking up the blitz at a high level. You know, I think Eckler and Robinson have been an excellent duo, and I have been so impressed with this running back core. What an excellent performance they have put in this season. But we're going to get to the next part of this offense. Talking about the receiving core, I thought Dotson was not a great decision. You spent the first round on him. This speaks volumes about the last regime. The fact that you let go of two of your recent first round picks. It's not even like you picked them 4 or 5 years ago. Man, you picked them like a year and 2 years ago. Like, yo, these guys need time to develop, and you let him go right away. But the receivers that took his place have been doing a really good job of creating separation, of leaning on that running game. I think they have some of the best wide receiver blocking in the NFL. Very impressive team. We're going to get to last, but not least, Jayden Daniels. We've got to talk about Jayden. Jayden, what a season he's had. There's so many things I could talk about Jayden Daniels, but when I watched him in LSU and I saw the start he was in LSU, he was one of the most polarizing players I've seen. And what have we seen from him this year, man? We've seen nothing but greatness. The ability to check the ball down, the ability to make reads. I think he's been excellent under the blitz. But not just that. What I've been so impressed with, his ability to manage games, his ability to make good decisions. He doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. He doesn't throw, I think, interceptions at all. Sometimes he doesn't put the ball in harm's way. His ball placement is excellent. His decision making is very good. And not just that, the game looks like it comes to him so easy. He looks like he's on his own pace. He's like the Luka Doncic of the NBA in a way, you know? Making the checkdowns, making the read, escaping the pocket, picking up 4 or 5 yards at a time. But not just that, sometimes he breaks off for like 20 yards like it's nothing, a little scampery. You know, he looks like a little kid who's, I don't know, like 1 year old and running. He's running for that first down. He slips to the sideline. He jumps, skips. That's Jayden Daniels, baby. Baller. He's an absolute baller. And not just that, they're peaking at the right time. Everything's coming together. This defense is coming together. This offense has looked good majority of the season, and they're looking good again. And coming into this postseason, this is the team nobody wants to play against. I'm telling you right now, you don't want to play against a run-heavy, tough defense with a mature quarterback that can make really good decisions, that has a really good play. Nobody wants to play against that. Nobody wants to play against that. You would much rather play against a team like the Seattle Seahawks, which you could beat up on. But you look at a team like this, and you think to yourself, the Commanders are probably going to have to play against the wonderful Eagles. If the Eagles don't get that first spot, I don't expect them to get that first spot. So they're they're most likely going to have to play. So the Commanders are most likely going to have to play against the Eagles in Lincoln Field. I can't wait for it, man. We got some good football games coming up this playoff, and I'm going to be there. I'm most definitely going to be there. But outside of that, I got the Eagles winning that game. But for the Commanders, do I think they have a chance to win that game? Absolutely. They should feel confident. The way they won this last one against the Eagles, coming back yesterday against Kenny Pickett. And yes, he did not play that good, but what a performance by them last second to get that touchdown, showing consistently they have solutions, they have answers. Jayden Daniels can make that play from this offensive line, can hold off every single person in this team, every single person, a part of the offense, not just that, a part of the defense, can do a part to win a football game. I'm seeing that on a consistent basis, and I love every single bit of it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Subscribe. Take care.